It's that time. It's that time. It's that time. You've tuned in to Seattle Connected, the show that connects you with entrepreneurs, business people, movers and shakers in our community, letting you know who they are first before they become household names like we know they soon will be, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Well, that was a confirmation. Today, my guest is I would say, not a jack of all trades. I would more say like a Renaissance man. He dabbles in a little bit of everything. He's always making sure that he has multiple streams of income, not just because of the revenue, but he likes to never, ever, ever limit himself. Yes, he is someone who is about his business, but he has a very, I'm not going to say unique, but I'm going to say a human side to him. He wants to make sure that he's providing great customer service always and making sure that your sweet tooth is taken care of. Please welcome the king of baked goods, my man, Truman.
Wah, wah.
Yeah, what's up?
Going on? How you doing, man?
How was the intro?
That was excellent.
All right, thank you.
I'm not sure who you were talking about, but
Oh,
that was
okay.
a great intro.
That was you,
that was
man.
Me. I appreciate that.
That was you. Say it with your chest. How you doing?
I'm doing good, man. I appreciate you having me here.
Oh, thanks for being here, man.
Yeah.
We got to do this. First of all, I have to say I like that watch. That's fire.
Thank you, man. Appreciate that. It matched with everything. That's why.
Okay, that's what's up. See, stuff like that you gotta buy too.
Most definitely.
Because I'm the kind of person, man, if there's something that I really like, whether it's like some vinyl or some shoes, I'm always like, but what if something happens to it? I gotta have you know what I'm saying? So, but no, that's dope. But thanks for coming, man. So, Truman, are you born and raised here? Are you from Washington or did you move up here?
No, I'm born and raised in Washington. I grew up in like South Seattle area.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's like I went to Rainier Beach High School, but I could pretty much walk there in 10 minutes or less. You know what I mean?
Oh,
so,
wow.
Yeah. So that was all the way up until, being a little kid, all the way up until probably the end of high school when I went to go play baseball in college.
Okay.
Yeah.
What position did you play?
In college, they don't let you mess around. When I was coming up, I pitched first base, third base.
Yeah.
But when I got to college, I was just a catcher.
Okay.
Yeah, just play catcher.
Well, don't say just, man.
I mean, that's a tough position, though.
I
Yeah,
know.
it is a tough position, but, they want you to do what you're best at. They don't want you floating around if you're okay in this and okay in that, because most of the time they got a guy who is really good in that position.
Yeah.
So they want you to focus on your craft doing that.
Okay, how are your knees?
Terrible.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah,
That's
terrible,
about right.
man. Terrible.
Yeah, baseball will do that.
Especially catcher,
right.
yeah.
So, where did you go to school at in college?
I went to Shoreline Community College.
Okay.
I ended up getting hurt up there. So that's one of those things where I look back. I probably could have rehabbed and done a little bit better, but, you get into college.
Yeah.
You up there partying and this, that, and the third. And I got hurt, and it was like, I'm just going to start working.
Yeah.
I still kept going to school, though. Still kept going. I didn't go to Shoreline, but I was working, and then I would just keep going to school, off and on, off and on. So I just had to make the choice.
Yeah. Yeah, I always say, because I actually, baseball was my first love back in the day, in the CAYA days.
Oh, yeah, we used to smack those guys around a little bit.
Man, hey, we don't need
it was Rainier Playfield.
Yeah,
I played for Rainier.
We don't need to do all that. Come on. Let's not have that type of show. But I always say that, like, man, if I would have just been good enough to make a team.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I'm like, man, these guys are getting paid. But
yeah,
I stopped early, man. I got distracted by girls, and it was a wrap. It's like,
partying was fun.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's hard to, separate the two. Like, it was tough, but I think I made the right decision overall, because once you get to that level, everybody's good. You know what I mean? So I was good.
Yeah.
But everybody's good.
Everybody's good.
You know what I mean? So you could kind of tell, like, where people. I probably could have went further in college, but making it to the major leagues, probably not. You know what I mean? I mean, possible. If you keep working. If I would have kept working and really was dedicated.
Yeah.
But now that I look back, I thought I was dedicated, but I wasn't dedicated enough to make it to that level. It'd take a different kind of dedication to get to that level of playing baseball.
Yeah, or I would also say any sport. I remember when I was in like middle school, Chicago Bulls were just you know, and so all of us thought, just because we liked the sport, I'm gonna be in the NBA, this and that, right? And we were all good, but I remember there was this kid named Jamal Crawford.
Yeah, I was a freshman at Rainier Beach when he was a senior. Yeah.
And he was different.
Yeah.
He was different. So it's like, all right, I think we're gonna do some music and and some
real.
poetry and some other things. But that guy's on fire,
Yeah, he's still one of my favorite players ever.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
That guy's incredible.
So
and he's a really good guy too.
Yeah,
really good person, man. Real good dude. Shout out to Jamal Crawford.
Yeah.
Hopefully you're watching and we're waiting for that interview. Yeah. So, all right, Truman. Now you're working, you're doing your thing, you're going to class. So what was the next step, like, as far as, all right, what am I interested in and what am I trying to do? Were you like, all right, I'm gonna start a business, or I'm gonna just, work and see how life plays out? Because sometimes I think when you're young and all you've known is like, all right, I'm out here hustling, doing what I gotta do to take care of myself.
Right.
Sometimes you get caught up in, is this really what I want to do?
Right.
Because you might do what's convenient for the time. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm from that era, just like you, where it wasn't like, let me just sit back and just chill.
Yeah.
It was like, nah, you're doing something.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You're doing something. So.
Yeah, for me, man, I was like that little kid that would stretch out the old metal hangers and be scraping change from underneath the washing machine.
Yeah.
So for me, I always wanted to be doing something. I always enjoyed sales. Okay. So my first job experiences were like some kind of sales. And I got real good at it because I had all the worst sales jobs you could possibly have before getting like a decent one. You know what I mean? Like the telemarketing, the bill collecting, just crazy stuff. But once you do that and then you go to a place, at one point I was doing like custom cabinets and custom furniture where we had people's TVs popping out of their bed and stuff like that. And I would draw the stuff up. Yeah. When you go to a place where people actually want to buy the stuff and you're not like forcing it on them, it was easy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, and then I always was like the one that like always had like hats or shoes or something for sale. You know what I mean? So I always had that little side hustle mentality. Yeah. So it's just like in me. I don't know where it came from. It's like my grandfather also too, he owned his own business, a scrap metal business.
Okay.
I'd be in the truck with him at a young age, making $75 in a day, but I would be like 9 years old, 10 years old. You know what I mean? So I think it's just in me. I always wanted to do something else besides just work.
Right.
You know what I mean? I just didn't want work to be it. I wanted to have different things that I could do to, make some money. And then I enjoyed it. You know what I mean? Take pride in it.
Yeah, that's huge. And, shout out to your grandfather. I think there's so much we can learn from our elders. Like,
sure.
I think, man, I learned more from my elders than I have over time from my own peers.
Yeah.
And that's why I would always get people like, oh, you seem more mature for your age and whatnot. Because I was always looking at things from a point of, let me see how I can avoid some of the pitfalls that someone else made, and that's how I am now with my own kids, just kind of looking at it like, all right, but if you thought about this side, if you thought about that side, and as much game as you can get from your friends, there's always those who have lived and experienced things that they haven't, so
multiple times.
Right.
I mean? Yeah.
So you working with your grandfather and you're learning from him and kind of developing your own things. So that's what's up. Now, before we go into your latest business venture, you dabbled in food. So were you always that person at home who was experimenting, making meals, or just cooking for yourself just to eat? Or did you like have a taste for, because some people, they cook because, all right, hey, I got to eat. And then some people really have that skill for trying to fine tune stuff.
Right.
And you could be somewhere and you're like, nah, this was all right, but I would have added more pepper.
Oh, yeah,
this was kinda,
yeah. I mean, I'm a big boy, so, I like to cook. I like to eat. But I cook. I was the cook. Like, at home, I'm the cook. I always been cooking ever since I was little. It's like, back to my grandfather again, this guy, he would be in the kitchen and just throwing stuff together. So like, that's my specialty. So when I go into the kitchen, I might have a protein in mind or something like that, but I don't really know what I'm going to cook. So I'll get in there and I'll just start okay, that's it right there. You know what I mean? So I just enjoy that, like just creating stuff. A lot of times, if I make something, it'll be similar, but it won't be the exact same. Like I'll do something different to tweak it, even if it's something as simple as like spaghetti. You know what I mean? I'll do something a little bit different. So that's just something I always enjoyed doing was cooking. Yeah, always.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Is the same goes for bacon as well, or just cooking?
Not so much bacon.
Oh, man.
I will do some bacon, but I'm more of I can bake. Don't get it wrong. You know what I mean? I can bake and do some desserts and stuff like that too. But I'm more of the food, savory type of food. You know, I cook that kind of stuff.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So we're talking about bacon. Let's get into it. Puddin Cakz.
Mm-hmm.
What's up, man? First of all, how did you come up with the name?
Mm-hmm.
And second, like, when did this really come into fruition? Like, when did you have this idea? And how long did it take for you to really implement things? Like, all right, now it's not just an idea on a piece of paper. Now I'm going for it. I'm 100% invested.
Yeah. So I would say I didn't come up with the name. My wife came up with the name.
Shout out to her.
And it wasn't my idea. It was her idea.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Smart man. Give her props. There you go.
She came up with the name. She was doing it. I just, like, my degree is in business and marketing. You know what I mean? So once I saw that it was working, then I kind of, like, stepped in and was like, okay, we can really do something with this. But we just started selling the desserts at work pretty much. Individually selling them at work. So I could literally say we probably started this whole business with probably maybe less than $100. You know what I mean? Because it just how much it took to get the stuff and make it and take it to work. And we would take them there like almost every day for like a couple of months until we had enough money. We bought the business license and then had our first event, which was free. Until we got to do, like, I would say a real event. Because the first event we ever did was a community thing up at Garfield High School. It was for the Little League up there.
Yeah.
And my buddy was the president of the Little League, and he's like, hey, you guys can come up here. It's going to be picture day. And we was like, man, yeah, we're happy. Yeah. It was our first ever event. We're going to do this. And we made no money.
Yeah.
We made no money. But that was okay though, and that didn't like deter me or anything. I was just like, I don't think it was. It's not because these don't taste good. We've already proven at work that everybody wants these things. You know what I mean? We just have to be in the right place for people to buy them. So that's what we did, and I wish I had pictures. We had a little rinky-dink booth. You couldn't tell what we were selling over there, but we changed that. We upgraded. You know, that marketing side of me came in, the branding and all that kind of stuff. We made it look real good, and we risked it at Renton River Days.
Yeah.
And that went great, and we just, you know, kind of been going from there. That was 3 years ago.
3 years.
Yeah.
Man. Who comes up with the flavors or what you're going to serve? Because going on your website, I saw you guys have an assortment.
Yeah, and they're not even all on there. They're not even all on there.
Wonderful, delicious treats. Who comes up with that, or is that like a collaborative kind of?
You're going to think I don't do nothing because I don't come up with the flavors either, man. She come up with the flavors. Okay. You know what I mean? I might have like an idea like, oh, you should do this or something like that.
All right.
But I like to stay, like, I handle a lot of the business side of stuff.
Gotcha.
You know what I mean? So I handle a lot of the business side of stuff. She handles like, okay, she wants to do this flavor. That's all you take care of that. I'll have like, if I'll taste test it. So I get to taste test it and be like, oh, this is good. Like, I've never tasted one that didn't taste good though. That's the crazy thing. But she comes up with all the flavors though. Yeah.
But if you haven't tasted one that you didn't care for, then like, why is she even having you taste? Because then, listen.
That's good. That's good. Yeah,
no, I'm saying, and that's dope that everything's good, but because if she's coming up, well, I know it's kind of hard because like there be some stuff that's like, oh man, this is good.
Yeah.
But still, in her mind, she might be like, nah, I could do something better.
Oh yeah.
But you're like, no.
Yeah.
Because sometimes when people be wanting to do a little extra,
Yeah.
you're like, nah, you should have left it.
So I'll say this, like, so if she's making like a specific one, and she's like, taste this, and I taste it, and I was like, it doesn't taste like, it's one that we've had a bunch of times already. I'm like, okay, no, maybe need to add a little bit more. Like, you think I should add a little bit more of this? I'm like, okay, yeah, add a little bit more of this. And there's levels. Like, I have ones that I really like. Then there's ones that I just like, these are good. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's just like levels to which ones I like. Like, if I had to rank them, I have my rankings, my top 3, my top 5 or whatever. And some that sit at the bottom. They're still good, but they're just not as good as this one right here. Well, in my opinion, anyways.
Well, since you threw it out there, you put yourself on the spot. So, what is your rankings?
Oh, that's easy.
That's easy.
I don't feel like I'm on the spot at all.
All right. So, what are we doing? Top
so the
3?
number one, top 3.
Okay.
I'm gonna go 3 to 1.
All right.
Not 1 to 3. I'm gonna go 3 to 1.
3 to 1.
3 for me is Peanut Butter Dream. I know, right? Peanut Butter Dream. It's kind of like a Butterfinger, Snickers type of vibe, but we do have a Butterfinger flavor. 2 is Banana Biscoff, yeah, and then number 1 is the classic, the banana, the plain regular banana. Wow, it's good. That's my top 3.
I'm still thinking about number 2,
the Banana Biscoff. And you know what's crazy? That's what I was gonna bring here, but I left them. Man, I had the Banana Biscoff for you today.
It's all good.
I'm gonna get it to you though.
Like I said, we just have to do
I'm gonna get it to you.
Oh man, that sounds good. All right, so that was your top 3. How many flavors do you guys currently have?
30 plus.
No, 30 plus.
Yeah, 30 plus.
Really?
Yeah, 30 plus. Wow. So we do certain flavors more than we do other ones. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like the banana. That's one that we typically do. Like, we have an event, we usually pick 2 or 3 flavors to do. So banana is always like one of the flavors because everybody loves that banana. And then we just throw another couple in there. So out of the 30, we probably do, I would say, 10 to 15 on rotation, outside of the banana. But yeah, there's a ton of flavors, man. And then all the individual sizes, they come in cakes also too. So there's different size cakes that we do with all the flavors. So every flavor can be a cake as well too.
What's some of the most popular cakes?
Red velvet.
Always, yeah.
We've been getting a lot of the Banana Biscoff. And that's actually a new flavor. I think we've only had that for a month or 2, but it's a real popular flavor. And the Peanut Butter Dream is probably number 1. I would say Peanut Butter Dream is probably number 1. Not only does it taste good, it looks like nice. Like, if you see a picture of it, like it makes you want to eat it because it looks so nice. You know what I mean? It's like, so that's Peanut Butter Dream is probably the number 1 ordered cake for sure.
What's your wife's favorite?
All of them.
All of them. And I like how you didn't even hesitate, so it must be true. All
of them.
Yeah.
All of them. Yeah, all of them. Like, because she's coming up with them, so she's making stuff that she would want to eat.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So all the flavors she gonna like.
Okay.
You know what I mean? It's like a mad scientist when it comes to the pudding cakes.
Yeah. So what? All right. So you said the original banana, the Banana Biscoff, the Peanut Butter Dream.
Yeah.
All right. So what else do we got?
Red velvet.
Yeah, red velvet.
Southern peach.
Ooh. Southern
Orange crush.
What?
Caramel chocolate brownie. Oh man, lemon. And man, it's crazy. It's so many, man. It's so many. And then there's so much that we haven't done that people ask for.
Yeah.
Like, they want us to do a ube one.
And you're looking at them like, we got 30 flavors.
Right.
Like, come on.
It's
now.
never gonna be enough.
Listen.
It's never gonna be enough.
Yeah, but I guess that's a good sign, though.
Yeah.
Opposed to people like, no, I'm good.
Yeah.
I don't want anything. And I don't even want to.
Because they taste something that they taste one and be like, this is good. Can you guys do this?
Yeah.
And we do on the website. We do have something that's on there like custom flavor. So that is an option on there. So people reach out to us requesting specific flavors and stuff like that.
Do you guys do any like catering or?
Yeah, we do parties and things like that. Not a ton, but that is something we will want to get more into. So, we have a lot of room to grow and do other things. That's one of the things that we want to step into and do more of. We just recently had a cake and sip event So that was new to us. That was last month. That went really well. We partnered up with Island Delights. She does cakes. So it was a cake decorating thing. It was you make a pudding cake. You know, we also do the lemonades and the po' boys. So it was make a pudding cake yourself, and then you also get to hand press your own lemonade. You know what I mean? So then we had music. There was a DJ. There was food. It was a good vibe.
Man, you
Yeah,
got
it was
the
dope.
po' boys. What?
Yeah, the po' boys too.
What?
See, that's my part of it right there.
Okay.
So the po' boys, the lemonade, that was my thing. Because when we originally started, we only had pudding cakes. Like that event that I said we did at Ren River Days, the first one, it was just pudding cakes. And then as we kept going, I was like, man, I'm going to all these places. They're like, or we go to an event and they'd say, hey, oh, I'm going to get something to drink and then I'll come back. I got tired of hearing that. I was like, I'm going to get a drink.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I was like, everybody loves lemonade. And we're fresh squeezing, hand pressing the lemonade right in front of you. You know what I mean? So we started doing the lemonade. And then last year, it was the same thing. Like, I think last year this week, we were doing an event and somebody's like, oh, we're going to get something to eat, then we'll come back. I kept hearing that also too. I got tired of hearing that too. So I already had the po' boys in the works, but I think a week or two after that, I put them on the menu and we just went full throttle with the po' boys. You know what I mean?
That's what's up.
So yeah, it's just about, you know, I met a Hispanic dude at one of the events. It was Kent Cornucopia last year, and he was next to us. He said he'd been doing this for 25 years. And he's like, man, you guys are doing a real good thing here. He's like, you guys can be really successful. He's like, just keep adding to your menu. You know what I mean? You guys have the lemonade, you have those desserts, you have the po' boys. Just keep adding to your menu, and you guys will be fine. You know what I mean? He's like, I've seen a lot of businesses doing this. He's like, how you guys are set up. You know, we like to keep everybody uniformed. You know, we're a small business, but we want to be presentable. If you come to a Puddin Cakz booth, everything's the same color. Our gloves are even pink.
That's what's
You know what I mean? Our ice scooper's pink or purple. You know what I mean? So we like to keep the whole thing uniform. You know what I mean? And presentable. And then you know it's us when you see us. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's a real part of the branding. Try to keep everything the same. No matter if we have two events, we have two different booths, you're gonna know when you see our booth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. I think that's important, you know, just like anything, when someone sees that Puddin Cakz logo, those colors, they know like what to expect.
Yeah.
You know, and I think that's awesome that you're giving them a variety of things, and that way there's something for everyone.
Right.
You know, because if someone is, you know, allergic to peanut butter, you're like, you know what, I got 29 others for you to try. Like, you have something for everyone.
Yeah.
And it's something about a good dessert, man. It really is soothing. It's like comfort food. It's like really just like, man.
Somebody told me yesterday, we had an event yesterday, it's like they bought one.
Yeah.
She ate it, came back, she bought two more, and she's like, I got to take this home and wrap up in a blanket and eat this one later.
Oh, man.
Like,
yeah. Wrap up in a blanket.
I said, oh, it's serious. Yeah.
That's what's up.
Yeah, you got to be cozy. She wanted to be cozy when she ate it. But, yeah, no, it's a blessing, man. I enjoy it. I like being out there talking to a bunch of different people. I've met some really good people being outside and doing these events.
Yeah.
And that's led to other things.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Not just food-wise. I've met some really good people, man.
Yeah. Being that you're a small business right now, as far as, you know, like personnel, would you ever see yourself, I don't know, maybe merging with like a large corporation? If you did, like, what would be your terms? Because, you know, sometime you'll have a business owner who's like, they'll jump at the opportunity and then they're like, you know what, I don't even own this anymore.
Right.
Or I'm getting like 5% and the other 95% is going to someone else, but I sacrificed that to have it in, you know, 200 stores.
Right.
Like,
well, it depends with that 5% of what. So maybe that 5% might make sense.
Because you could also, I heard this recently, Truman, you could also have 100% of nothing.
Right, exactly. So 5%, we're talking about, you know, a large amount. Maybe that 5% makes sense. But for us, I think it would just be to make sure that the quality and the taste wasn't compromised. You know what I mean? We want it to taste like how we make them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that and making sure that people knew where it came from. You know what I mean? That's important to us too. So know where they came from, making sure the flavor and the taste and everything wasn't compromised by doing mass production. So yeah, those two things. I mean, the business side of it, if it makes sense, it makes sense. If it doesn't, it just doesn't. You know what I mean? So as long as it makes sense for us, and it relieves some of the extra work that we have to do by them, mass producing in a bigger scale, then yeah, I mean, why not? Yeah, why not?
Yeah.
I think that's the goal for most people. You want to get to a point where it's in 200 stores or something like that, but you also still want to be able to keep the integrity of the product and also being able to make some money off of it as well too. So
yeah, that's huge. Do you currently have any of your products in any local businesses now, or are you still working on that?
We have them at Alta's Louisiana Cajun Seasoning Store.
Yeah, shout out to Alta's.
Yeah, Alta's, yeah, man. If you haven't been there, you definitely got to go there. Everybody got to go there. So they're at Alta's. We've been at Alta's for about a little over a year now.
Okay.
So that's been going really good. We've been in a couple other shops too. The first shop we were in was the Scene in South Park.
Okay.
So shout out Michelle.
Shout out Michelle.
We appreciate Michelle. Thank you very much
for the three-peat the trilogy. You and Isaiah, come on back.
And then we also had them at Just Like Home. I think Just Like Home Jamaican Kitchen is in South Seattle too on Rainier.
Okay.
So they were in there also too. But right now we're just at Alta's right now.
Okay.
But we appreciate both of those places for giving us, especially the Scene too, because that was, like I said, she gave us our first chance to be in the store.
Yeah.
So for us, that was like a big thing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, oh man, we could walk into a place and our desserts are sitting right there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It was cool.
Yeah. And shout out to Alta's. You guys need to go there so you can get your fix, your fill, try something new each time. Shout out to Alta's.
Mm-hmm.
I think when I went to the Scene, that might have been what I had. And do you have like a strawberry something? Okay, because I think that's what I had, and I had one more. It might have been the lemon.
We had a bunch in there. Yeah, we had a bunch in there.
Because I just remember, and I told Michelle this, that I planned on taking one home to my daughter, and it didn't make it.
If you taste it, it's a wrap.
Yeah.
People they try to, once you put that little spoon in there, and that's why we give you spoons that are about that big.
I see what you're doing.
You know what I mean?
I see what you're doing. Come on. That's that marketing side of you.
Yeah. You're like, man, I can't get enough on this spoon.
Yeah.
I might need another one of these. So.
Yeah, it didn't make it, so I had to discard all the trash and everything out the car. It never happened.
No, that's one of those ones you eat in the driveway.
Yeah,
Get rid of the evidence.
Guilty pleasure. It was worth it though. I'd do it again.
Yeah, for sure.
I'd do it again. What's something that you, being a business major, that you have learned about the business of going into business of, for yourself? What's something that you've learned since you've created Puddin Cakz that you might have not known or didn't know to this magnitude until now, and you said, okay, I get it now, or that's something I didn't think about, or that makes sense?
I think the main thing is that you don't know everything. You know what I mean? Like you go into stuff knowing a lot, but then as you grow in the business, you start learning stuff along the way. So for me, I like to put myself in uncomfortable situations, stuff that I don't normally do. I like to do those kind of things because I feel like that's the only way that you grow. So we do events that we might not normally do and try new things, and then we learn along the way. You know what I mean? There were certain things that I didn't know as far as permitting, some kind of safety things that are required while you have a food booth and stuff like that. We didn't know those things, but it's just stuff that you learn along the way. So I would say just be open and make sure you're paying attention so that you can pick up the things that you're missing, and then also keep learning as you're going along the journey of, building your business. So it's been, if you asked me certain stuff 2 years ago, I would have no idea what you're talking about. But now it's like an everyday thing. And I see, like, a lot of times it's to the point now, like, if we go to an event, we'll have somebody next to us. It's their first or second event or something like that. We're usually helping them. You know what I mean? Because we've already been through the health inspectors and all these different things like that. The fire department, they come out and check you when you're cooking food. You have to have certain things there. We're usually helping them. So that's like, it's a good place to be at where you know kind of what's going on. But like I said, we still don't know everything. You know what I mean? We know certain stuff about the permitting and the market, or the permitting and, you know, certain safety stuff, but we're always learning something. You know, we're always learning something. So the next progression for us is going to be like a food trailer or a food truck. That's going to be a whole nother set of things that we have to learn as far as compliance. You know what I mean? Because it's not the same as having a booth. So it's just like, just keep learning along the way. You know, you don't have to know everything. And a lot of people get held up on doing stuff because they don't know something. Just jump in it. You'll find out. You know, you'll figure it out.
So you're saying like just throw yourself in the water?
You have to.
Like
you have to.
Kevin Hart, when he was talking about his dad, just threw him in the water. And then he got in the car with him. He's driving home. He's like, I almost lost you today, boy. Like, you got to jump. The water.
Yeah, man, you got to jump out there and just do it. I got a lot of friends that say, I want to do this. I want to do this. I always just tell them, just do it, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, the worst that could happen is it doesn't work out. But it didn't. You weren't doing it anyways before, so you just go back to the way it was. But the best thing that can happen is that it does work out. And probably 9 times out of 10, if you really put yourself into trying to do something, it's probably going to work out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I said, we didn't make no money the first event that we did. Like, we actually lost money on that event. Yeah. But that I didn't think that it wasn't going to work. I just thought that we have a good product. I know people like it. We just need to get it in front of people who want to buy this thing. We were at a Little League Pitcher Day game, or Pitcher Day. You know what I mean? So that wasn't really the setting for people to come and buy desserts, and it started like 10 o'clock in the morning. So now thinking back, it was probably a terrible idea. But what we were thinking on that time was that we were giving part of the proceeds back to the Little League. So we wanted our first event to be something that we were making money, but also giving back to the community at the same time, just to kind of get out there.
But I like that you said that, you know, just throwing yourself, you know, into it. And I like that you were open enough to admit that you didn't make any money for that first event, because a lot of times people will get discouraged because they have this idea of, I'm starting a business, I'm expecting to make X amount of dollars every time, every day. And it's not, it doesn't work like that.
No.
You know, even if you take a professional sports franchise, every year isn't the same.
Right.
You know, so I think that that's cool that you mentioned that. And another thing I like to add is you have to really believe in yourself.
Yeah.
You know, because that's going to exude through your whole vibe, your whole aura, and your brand.
Yeah.
If I can tell that you don't believe in yourself, I'm like, yeah, this guy doesn't even seem like he cares.
Right.
Or he doesn't seem like he's invested.
Yeah,
I'm going to go to this next person.
Right.
You know, but if you can talk about your business passionately, you can tell me, you know, you can give me advice if I'm trying to start a business, that means a lot.
Right.
You know, if you don't have that confidence, I'm like, what are they doing here? Like, do they even care that I'm here? Like, you know.
And I'll say too, the whole, like, we do an event, there's a good chance that you're not going to make any money. Like, for us, it's really like you don't make any money, but you might break even, or you might not make as much as you would like. So the time is money. So your time is wasted, and you could have probably been doing something else. But that's still a reality when you're running a business, though. We still have events that we go to that we don't do as well as we would like to. That just comes along with the territory, though. You know, so you have to be prepared for those kind of things, too, because every event is not going to be a great event. But what we've tried to do over the last couple of years is, we had a bad event at this. We had a bad outing at this event last year. We replaced that event with a different event and try to make it, you know, something better. Like yesterday was an event that was brand new to us, and we replaced it from an event that we had last year that wasn't that great. It was great yesterday. So now we keep that on our permanent schedule, and over the next 2 to 3 years, we build a schedule up that we know that these are all good events right here, and eventually the whole calendar will be set with good events. You know what I mean? So that's like the goal. But you have to be prepared for, because even though we might set that calendar like that, one of those events, it might rain. You know what I mean? You guys got to be prepared. Things are going to happen that don't, you know, follow the plan of what you're going for. And that's just what it is.
Do you guys offer online ordering
Yeah.
now? Oh, you do?
Yeah, we have online ordering.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's how people are, because we don't sell the cakes at any events or at Altas or anything like that. The only way to get a cake is by ordering it.
Okay.
And you have to order the cake, or individuals or whatever you want. You can still order online.
So at the events, you have the individuals?
Always the individuals at the event, yeah.
All right. Then online, if you want like the cakes. So do you do full-size cakes for everything you offer in the individual sizes, or?
Yeah, so we have 4-inch round, 7-inch round, and 9-inch round.
Okay.
So those are the sizes that we do. We don't do like the big sheet cakes, but we do like round size cakes. So yeah, those are the ones that we offer. Every flavor is available in a cake. At some point, we would like to, get the cakes out there, but it requires a little bit more setup, because you want to have like a cold station, like one of the display cabinets right there sitting there.
Yeah.
It's kind of a lot to do. You know what I mean? So when we the evolution to the food truck or to the food trailer or something like that, then we'll be able to. I already have a full menu ready to go.
Yep. Yeah.
I have a menu ready. I have stuff that I want to add, but we're just not there yet, and we're in no rush to just push stuff out there. Like the po' boys, it took me probably like 5 months to come up with everything. That was having the bread being tried out, different breads. I had bread coming from Louisiana. The sauce still comes from Louisiana that goes on the po' boys, but it took time to get the sauce, the bread, and how we wanted to construct it to bring it out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's the same thing with the rest of the stuff too. When it's time and we feel like we can do it, then we'll put it out there when it's 100% ready. Not 90, not 95, but 100% ready.
Yeah.
Yep.
Can you let us know about some of the events you got coming up in the summer? And
yeah, man, for us, the whole summer is pretty booked. I mean, the next one's coming up. We have Maple Valley Days next week, which is a 3-day event. We have a Juneteenth event the weekend after that in Auburn, which we did last year. It was a really good event. It was fun. Greenwood Car Show, Cajun Fest, Ren River Days. Man, we got a ton of events coming up this summer. That's just to name a few.
Okay.
So, yeah, we got a bunch of events coming.
Man, you give me so much knowledge. Thank you so much, man.
Yeah.
And before you go, can you let people know how they can stay in touch with Puddin Cakz, and they can try all those wonderful flavors, or see where you guys are at, or just let them know how they can stay in the loop?
Yeah, so all of our socials, TikTok, Instagram, and Facebook is at Puddin Cakz. And we also have a website that's www.puddincakz.com. We put all of our events that we're going to be at on there. There's a place where you can contact us for questions or anything like that. But guaranteed, if you're out at some summer event this summer, you will probably see us at some point for sure. Yeah.
How do you spell Puddin Cakz?
Oh yeah, see, that's the PUDDINCAKZ, Puddin Cakz.
That's right.
Yeah.
Any shout outs before you leave?
Man, shout out everybody who supported us. We appreciate you guys. We've been around for 2 solid years, 3 total years, but we just getting started. So all the supporters, all the friends, the family that come out and support us, we appreciate you. We love you guys, and thank you.
All right.
Yeah.
And thank you, man.
Yeah.
Thanks for putting your soul and everything into this product, and not just putting stuff out just to have something out.
Yeah.
That means a lot. So I appreciate it, and thank you for looking out for the community, not giving them any bad product and just trying to make some money. Appreciate it, and also continue to let me know about any other events that you got going on. You're Seattle Connected alumni now, so we got
Appreciate you. Yeah.
And we'll have to hook up so we can,
No, I got you.
And
then get that banana biscuit off
and
to you.
then what I'm gonna do is I'm going to let people know. I'll give my own review, and then I'll let them know what my favorite is, and I'll remind them to purchase or find you at an event. So thank you, Truman. Appreciate
you, man.
And I thank you guys. Like I always say, it's important to take care of others, but please make sure you take time to take care of yourself. Until next time, stay connected. Peace.